Welcome back everybody to another Auto World Zone video from EICMA 2025. We're at Ducati for a look at some of their new bikes. But one we knew was going to be on the way quite soon is a new DesertX fitted out with their new V2 platform. This is a bike we've seen in spy shots over the past few months. And so what we've got here is the latest development, the latest prototype that gives us a glimpse of what might be finally announced in the next couple of months, I'd imagine. So as you can guess, we don't have the full detailed specs, but a lot of it is on show, and so we'll give you a good description of what we can see here on the stand. Now, if you watch my new Hyperotter V2 video, you'll know that I absolutely love this new V2 engine from Ducati. We've reviewed quite a few of the bikes that now have it. The Panigale, the Street Fighter, the Multistrader, and it's just a very lively, lightweight, free revving engine that makes for a lot of fun out on the road. And it seems to have, proper real-world usability, perhaps owing to the fact that it's now got variable intake timing that gives it this very smooth and predictable and linear torque curve. That means that it produces plenty of shove at pretty much any point in the rev range. Fantastic engine. It makes, I think, about 120 horsepower in the more sporty bikes, but I would expect this particular model to get the same engine as the Multistra V2, which is tuned down ever so slightly. I think it might actually be as a result of having a more substantial generator, but it still makes 115 horsepower peak and 92 Nm of peak torque. And so it should be plenty enough for this particular bike, especially if you consider it more of an off-road bias model where peak power isn't really the name of the game. Most bikes, though, that they've moved onto this new V2 engine have shed a lot of weight because most of them were moving off their fairly long in the tooth tester strut, which was a little bit weighty, and so I'd expect very much the same here. An extreme example would be that new Hypermore V2 that we covered recently that's managed to shave off 13 kg versus the previous generation. And so with this one, the current DesertX rather coming in at about 210 kilos. Well, maybe if they can get 5 or 10 kg off, that would be very much appreciated indeed. In fact, I think the current Multistrada V2 is just over 200 kilos, and so maybe somewhere around that figure would be possible, although this is a little bit more tall and robust. And so, yeah, I'd expect somewhere between 200 and 210. Now, naturally, with this being a new engine, we can probably expect a new frame as well. Because the engine's a stress member, so it's responsible for the majority of the bike's structure and then the frame's built around it. So it'll have to be a new frame to accommodate it, but I will say overall the chassis looks largely similar. I'm sure there are little tweaks here and there, but it's still that tall off-road ready adventure bike stance with the 21. In front, the spoke wheels, tubeless again, semi-knobbly tires, lots of suspension travel, Brembo Ragley mounted brakes there as well. And so I'd expect a bike that probably is going to ride in a fairly similar manner to the current bike, but that's by no means a bad thing. The current DesertX is one of the best adventure bikes to ride off-road. And so I'm hoping this will be every bit as good, if not a little bit lighter, which is always a good thing when you are riding off-road. Seat height on the current bike is 875 mm, so a tall bike. It helps you to get between sitting and standing. It also comes as a product of all that suspension travel and ground clearance. This looks similarly tall as well. But I will say Ducati are almost always very generous with their different seat height and suspension options. So the current model I think can go down as low as 845 mm if you fit a low seat and a lower suspension kit. But then equally, if you are particularly tall or you just like to be scared when you're trying to get on and off your bike, you can fit the high seat and go up to 890 mm. And I'd expect a similar range of options with this new DesertX V2. You'd imagine as well a lot of the techie tweaks that are on some of the new V2 bikes will be carried over here as well. Full suite of connectivity, rider aids, all that good stuff. It is ultimately overall the same formula of that almost retro-looking adventure bike. A little bit of a Cagiva elephant reference in the way that it's shaped. You've still got the twin headlights up front. You've still got that big bulbous fuel tank, but the tail section definitely has been slimmed out, made that little bit sleeker, and so it just looks like it's been tidied up a bit. No price as of yet, but it ain't going to be cheap. Obviously, it's a Ducati. The current Desert X is 15,195, I think, at the moment. So I wouldn't expect it to be anything less than that, if not a little bit more. As always though, I'd love to know what you think of what they've done with it so far, and what are the things you'd love to see when they finally announce the full production version. Do let me know down in the comments below. Hit subscribe as well if you want to see all the new content as it comes out, and there's still plenty of beautiful looking bikes to cover. Massive thanks for watching today, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video, which is coming up very shortly.